Hello and what's up, political peeps? Per usual, I am your host, Arav Kapoor, and welcome to another episode of the GeoPolitical. Today, we are going to be breaking down the 2024 US presidential election, and we'll be covering both of the main candidates, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. I will be back with you guys in just 1 minute to break down the ins and outs of the Electoral College and so much more. First of all, thank you so much to Nathan Bloom for being on here. Nathan Bloom, welcome to the stream. I will be back with you guys in just 1 minute to ensure that the quality of the stream is perfect. And we are back officially here for the GeoPolitical's first ever 2024 Election Day live stream coverage. Election Day is just, it's November 3rd right now, so we're just 2 days away from Election Day in the United States. Many races, including races for some seats in U.S. Congress, races for some senatorial seats, and much, much more. But today we're here for the big one to discuss the presidential race, the Electoral College, and much, much more. Once again, thank you so much to Nathan Bloom for being here with us and tuning in and supporting the GeoPolitical. And as usual, please leave your comments in the live chat of this live stream, any questions as well, so we can kind of address those. So here I have what's called 270towin.com. And if you don't know about the Electoral College, which is totally fine, actually a lot of people don't know how we elect our president here in the United States, but we don't use a popular vote. We use something called the Electoral College. So when you're in your state and voting, you actually are voting for who your state will vote for. So essentially, in a state like Connecticut, for example, where I reside, all 7 of the Connecticut's electoral votes go to one individual. And Nathan, thank you so much for your comment. Who you got winning? At the moment, I'm just about to dive in to how each of these candidates could win and the different ways of how on how each of these candidates can win. So I'll actually get to that right now, and I'll explain the Electoral College as we go. So if you think about this, since it's all or nothing, the states that are blue will definitely go for Kamala Harris and Joe Biden this year, and the states that are red will definitely go for Donald Trump this year. So the states that are beige are the ones that will really matter in this race. So we got Nevada, we got Arizona, we got Wisconsin, we got Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia. Now, North Carolina went with Donald Trump last year, and I believe that since the South has generally, especially the Southeast, has generally voted Republican historically, I believe that race in North Carolina will give all of the 16 electoral votes to President Trump and Senator Vance. I do think the same thing with Georgia, that all of 16 electoral votes, even though the Democrats did win Georgia by a relatively small margin in 2020, it is still very possible for the Republicans to take Georgia because, again, it is in the South, and the South is historically Republican. So assuming they take Georgia, and like in 2020, the Democrats take Nevada and Arizona because they are both heavily influenced by California, I personally think that Nevada will go blue, and Arizona is kind of in the middle ground. It could go red meaning Donald Trump and Senator Vance, or it could go blue, but I do think that it's going to go blue. So at that point, that brings us to 243 for the Democrats, 251, and as the name of this website suggests, it's a race to 270. So there's 3 more electoral votes in the mix, there's 3 more states with electoral votes in the mix that have to be determined. So these are all Rust Belt states. So ultimately, this means that if these states are more likely to be locked in, we have the locked in states, and then those swing states which you can lock in, being Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona, and Nevada. These 3 Rust Belt states are what really matter. So if we take a look at this, if President Trump takes Pennsylvania, that brings him exactly to 270. So let's reverse this for a minute. Now, if Vice President Harris takes Wisconsin, excuse me, if Vice President Harris takes Wisconsin, that brings her to 253, and then she takes Michigan, that brings her to 268. So even if she wins Nevada out of the swing states, on top of the states that she already has, out of the swing states, if she wins Nevada, Arizona, um, Wisconsin, and Michigan, she still only has 268 votes. And assuming that it's pretty safe, in my opinion, that Georgia and North Carolina are going to go for President Trump, I believe that Pennsylvania will be the primary determiner of the winner of the presidential election this year. Because we back out of this, and assuming again these states are locked in like that, if President Trump takes Wisconsin, if President Trump takes Wisconsin and Michigan, he wins, but Kamala Harris can't win without Pennsylvania. So you have to take, I guess President Trump has to take one of these Rust Belt states to win. Well, so he either has to take Pennsylvania or Wisconsin and Michigan, because Wisconsin and Michigan together make enough electoral votes, but just either one of them is not enough to go over that 270 mark. But if you think about it, even if the thing that people have been arguing is that Nevada is a very swing state. I know that doesn't sound right. So if President Trump takes Nevada on top of the Georgia and North Carolina, which we think he's going to win, then simply taking I'm sorry, I keep picking blue. Then simply taking Michigan on top of the Nevada, North Carolina, and Georgia would take him across that 270 border. So that would be sufficient as well. But if we look back at the 2020 actual results here, we can see Nevada and Arizona went red, Georgia went blue, North Carolina went red, and since North Carolina went red, that's why we are assuming that North Carolina will go red again. Georgia and Nevada are heavily up in the air. Arizona, I personally have a feeling it's going to go blue, although there's a chance that because I know that like the major cities, including Phoenix, are generally more Democrat in Arizona, and the surrounding areas of Arizona are generally more sparsely populated. So that makes me think that Arizona will go blue this year. But if we go back to the 2024 consensus, Trump winning Nevada and Arizona, along with Georgia and North Carolina, only brings him to 268. So again, the Rust Belt states, either Wisconsin, Michigan, or Pennsylvania, are essentially make or break to this presidential race. Now, in the hypothetical situation, which I personally don't think will happen, but some people who are far more seasoned than me in politics and political predictions are analyzing the possibility and considering the possibility that Georgia will go blue and vote for Vice President Harris and Governor Walz this year, which I guess is theoretically a possibility. So in that situation, and assuming that the Democrats would take Arizona and Nevada as well, that brings them to 259. With Trump still securing North Carolina, there's still they still at this point would need one of the Rust Belt states, because multiple of the Rust Belt states, if they're not taking Pennsylvania, would, because Wisconsin brings them to 269. Michigan will take them over, but at the same time, the Rust Belt states are highly contentious and campaigned in a lot. But I personally, given what I said before, that Pennsylvania would be the main determiner of the presidency, is because that's a one-stop shop. Assuming that Southeast, North Carolina, and Georgia goes red, Nevada, Arizona goes blue, Pennsylvania is the make or break. And that's why I think we're gonna know our president extremely early this year, because Pennsylvania's polls close. It's all on Eastern time. Pennsylvania's will close at 8 p.m. Eastern, and because of that, by the time we get the votes in at 8:39, whoever those 19 Pennsylvania votes go to, it's a pretty good determiner as to who will win the presidency. Because even if we wait, we know that whatever California, Oregon, and Washington will go. The only holdups on that side would be Nevada and Arizona. But both of Arizona falls into mountain time, so actually that's inaccurate. But Nevada and Idaho, we know, is going to go red. So ultimately, Idaho is the only one that we will be waiting for on Pacific time. The Midwest is very decided, and then waiting, and Atlanta is on Eastern time. So really, the only holdup on Central time would be which is like 9 falls at their polls close at 9 p.m. Eastern, based out of where I am, New York City area, would be Wisconsin and Michigan. But like I said, if Trump is taking North Carolina, and the Democrats and then he takes Pennsylvania, he's getting 270, and so those three will know we'll know who's taking Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania by 8:30, 8:45 Eastern time, New York time. So once you're at 270, the race is over, and CNN will be able to make the prediction. It'll be like, and we have a projection that Donald Trump will retake the White House. We'd probably be getting that at 8:30, and he'll reach 270. But if the Democrats take Pennsylvania, and then along with Arizona, Nevada, and Michigan, um, or if they don't get Michigan, they take if instead of Michigan they take Georgia, which again I don't think will happen, then we won't know that until much later because of the Nevada and Arizona situation. But we can assume, like, I think it would be a safe assumption that if the Democrats take Pennsylvania, the Democrats will win the race. But I don't think that will happen because Donald Trump, the Pennsylvania means a lot to Donald Trump. We just got a question from Nathan Bloom. I think Donald Trump will take Pennsylvania. I was just about to touch on that because Pennsylvania means a lot to Donald Trump. First of all, we know that in July he was shot in Pennsylvania. So Pennsylvania means a lot to him. Most of his campaigning has been done in Pennsylvania. And overall, he's been in Pennsylvania more. And it's a place that, although in the blue wall, and when I say blue wall, I mean New England, which is historically blue and very, left as a region, Pennsylvania is that oddball out that actually both candidates have been highlighting, but I think that Butler, Pennsylvania shooting meant a lot to the people of Pennsylvania, and as such, Donald Trump has an advantage in Pennsylvania. So that's about it in terms of what I have to say concerning the presidential election in Pennsylvania and throughout the nation. If you're asking for my prediction, I think President Donald Trump and Senator Vance will be winning this presidential race because the likelihood that he's going to take Georgia because of its southeastern nature is extremely high, as well as the likelihood that they're going to take North Carolina because that's located in the same southeastern region, and the Republicans, Donald Trump, took North Carolina in 2020. Pennsylvania means a lot to President Trump. He was shot there, and he's been campaigning there for a while at this point, and that brings him to 270. So at that point, assuming Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania go to President Trump, it is his race. On that note, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate your time. And if you have any more questions about the election, leave them in the comment section below. I will be leaving this up as a video, and I'll be posting it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music so you guys get more details. And thank you so much to 270towin.com for giving me this resource to use and talk to you guys and simulate this 2024 election. Please be sure to check out my Substack. I'll be posting more about the Electoral College and local races within the state of Connecticut in the coming days. So please be sure to check that out whenever you get a chance. It'll be linked in the description below in the next couple of minutes after I wrap up the live stream. And best of luck to whatever candidate you guys wish to win. On that note, I am your host Arav Kapoor, signing off from here at the GeoPolitical. Happy Election Day.